गार्डन के लिए ना तो वहां पे पीछे पीछे खाना खाता पीछे करता डिसाइड पे मतलब We're doing a live or? Yeah. After taking to the call, the Ramayana book is coming on the way. It takes a little bit time. He wants to let you know. That's fine. Sure. And he will meet you tomorrow. He is sick. Tell him I'm also sick. Program is अपना आईटी सीरी को भेजो और बाद में प्राइवेट को डाल दो The sound can be big of this. What are it is full that. Will that help?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram Sankirtan ki jai. Very good. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता ईशाखाश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु गोपेशा गोपिका राधाकान्त तप्त काञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम Hare Krishna. Very happy and grateful to be here amongst all of you all. I just landed in US about 2 hours back. Straight away, the first program I'm doing is now, 2 hours later. Very happy and grateful to be here amidst all of you all. So, today's program is very special for me for many reasons. One of which is that this is the first time I'm going to actually speak on this book of mine called Nam Ramayana. This book is just been released on Diwali day. And happy that I'm able to share the knowledge in this book with all of you today. How many of you all have heard of Nam Ramayana in your life? Put up your hand, please. Have you ever heard Nam Ramayana? Okay. So those who have not heard, your life is like half wasted. Literally, because Nam Ramayana is such a special poem. In 108 verses, there is a great sage whose name is Lakshmanacharya, great Acharya. He has written the entire Ramayana in 108 verses. So if you just recite Nam Ramayana once, it's as good as reciting the whole Ramayana. So the way this book is, and probably this is the first book which is written about the entire Nam Ramayana with commentary, with like a deeper insight into what Nam Ramayana is. So I don't know. I think most of you all will be knowing that I've written an entire series of books called Ramayana, the Game of Life, right? Where I've written the Ramayana in 6 volumes. Great details, basically. So when I wrote that series, many people kept coming and telling me that, it's so voluminous. I don't think we'll ever be able to read all 6 books, Why don't you just write one book? So I said, this is the answer to that. This is one book. It has the entire Ramayana. And not only the 6 kands of Ramayana, there's a 7th kand, Uttarakhand also in it. So it's like a comprehensive, introduction to Ramayana. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you all some of the verses from Nam Ramayana. And we will just try to understand these verses, and I'll try to share with you all the insights behind each of these verses that will help you understand the beauty of this particular Nam Ramayana. But overall, you will also be able to connect with Ramayana itself very nicely. That's what?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you. So the way this Nam Ramayana is that each verse is in the form of a name of Lord Ram. So look at this one. Shuddha Brahma Parat Pararam. So basically, this talks about one name of Ram. So the way this Nam Ramayana is written is it simultaneously does three things. First thing, it helps you recite the entire Ramayana. Second thing, it helps you meditate on different qualities of Lord Ram. Third thing, it makes the qualities connect with the Nam. You know, in our Vaishnava tradition, we have this understanding of Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela, right? Nam is the holy name. Rupa is the form of the Lord. Guna is the qualities of the Lord. And Leela is the pastime of the Lord. This Nam Ramayana relates all the four. Technically, we're chanting Ram Nam. When you chant this Shuddha Brahma Parat Pararam, you're chanting the name of one of names of Ram. So he is known as Shuddha Brahma Parat Pararam. That is one of the names of Ram. But in this name is hidden a Leela. There is a pastime hidden inside this name. I'm going to share with you all that pastime. And within that pastime, you can meditate on a quality of Lord Ram, on a guna. And when you meditate on the Nama, Guna, and Leela, the roop of the Lord manifests. So that is the way in which the whole Nama Ramayana is written. So today what we're going to do is that we're going to pick up some of these verses of Nama Ramayana and meditate on these aspects of Lord Ram. So Shuddha Brahma Parat Pararam is the first verse of the Nama Ramayana. And this verse, it talks about a very beautiful story from the Ramayana. The Ramayana begins with Valmiki Muni asking Narad Muni a question. What is the question that Valmiki asks Narad Muni? Valmiki asks Narad Muni, who is that person who has all these qualities in completeness? Narad Muni, Valmiki makes a list of 24 qualities. And according to him, these 24 qualities are qualities that are there in an ideal hero. Anyone who is considered to be an ideal human being, perfect human being, should have these 24 qualities. In fact, if a person has even one of these 24 qualities, is considered to be really great. And the world celebrates anyone who has even one of these 24 qualities. But Valmiki is not interested in anyone who has one of these qualities. He wants to know someone who has all these 24 qualities, and that too in completeness. As an answer to that question, Narad Muni goes into a meditation. When Valmiki asks this question, Narad Muni closes his eyes and he is absorbing himself in that person who actually has all these qualities in completeness. You know, heroes of today, they may be very handsome, but they're very bad in their character. I remember many years back, I was with His Holiness Radhan Swami Maharaj in Rishikesh. And we were at the house of Birla, Yash Birla, very famous industrialist. And while we were there at his house, there was a very famous Bollywood actor who had come. And we were all sitting together on a breakfast table. And this man is looking really, handsome and very, very regal. Till he opened his mouth. The moment he opened his mouth, he said, "Oh God, what came out from his mouth was like really showed a lot about who he really is, basically. Some people, it's best they don't open their mouth. They get exposed too badly. So heroes of today, they have some quality which is good and attractive, but they don't have so many qualities, right? Finding someone who has all of this is practically impossible. So when Valmiki asked this question, Narad Muni meditated and he focused on that one person who has all these qualities in completeness. And then the name Ram came out from Narad Muni's mouth. And the moment Narad Muni chanted the name of Ram, tears started coming out from his eyes. And then he started reciting the entire Ramayana to indicate, to show how Lord Ram had actually followed all these 24 qualities and who exhibited all these 24 qualities in him. So that section of the Ramayana, which is right in the beginning of the first kand of the Ramayana itself, is known as Sanchit Ramayana. He's also called as Mool Ramayana. And it is said that if you chant the 100 verses which Narad Muni spoke to Valmiki, it is as good as chanting the 24,000 verses of Ramayana. And the same falasuti, same benefit is of chanting this Nam Ramayana, because it's technically the entire Ramayana in it. So this verse, Shuddha Brahma Paratpara Ram, it means I meditate on Ram, who is the supreme Brahman, and I meditate on Ram, who is supremely pure. So when we are chanting this verse, we ourselves can meditate on this quality of Ram that we want to manifest in ourselves. It is said as we practice our spiritual life nicely, slowly, slowly we get purified. And all the bad qualities go away, anarthas go away, and the good qualities start manifesting in our lives. And that is possible when we chant the holy names of Ram. That's why he's called it Shuddha Brahma Paratpara Ram. The next verse we can chant together. Kalatmaka Parameshwara Ram. So here is the next quality of Ram, which is Kalatmaka Parameshwara Ram. So this means I take shelter of Ram, who is time, and he is considered to be the supreme controller of destiny. So Kala or time factor is a very powerful element in all our lives. And God is considered to be the master of all time. In the Ramayana, if you study, wherever and whenever Ram entered, there people's destiny changed. When Lord Brahma approached Lord Vishnu, saying that Ravan and all his brothers are troubling us like anything, the moment Lord Brahma took shelter of Lord Vishnu, his destiny changed. And the destiny of the whole universe changed. And then eventually Dasharath Maharaj did the Putra Kameshri Yajna and invoked the presence of Ram in Ayodhya. The moment Ram was born in Ayodhya, the entire destiny of Ayodhya changed. And the destiny of Dasharath Maharaj himself changed. And then eventually Vishwamitra Muni comes. Vishwamitra Muni takes Ram away for a few months to Siddhashram. And the moment with Vishwamitra Muni connects with Lord Ram, his destiny changes completely. The Balakanda of the Ramayana is considered to be. So many people think Balakanda refers to the childhood of Lord Ram. But actually, Balakanda refers to the childhood of the devotion of Vishwamitra Muni. It is said before Balakanda of Ramayana, Vishwamitra Muni was a baby in bhakti. He was a very powerful sage. In austerities, he was a master. But in bhakti and devotion, he was a child. Through the Balakanda, after surrendering to Lord Ram, Vishwamitra Muni actually started becoming mature in his bhakti. And therefore, Balakand is the childhood of Vishwamitra Muni growing into mature adulthood, basically. So the moment Ram entered into Vishwamitra's life, his destiny changed. And then eventually Vishwamitra Muni took Ram to Mithila. And before Mithila, he entered into the ashram of Gautam Rishi and Ahalya. The moment he entered into the ashram of Gautam Rishi and Ahalya, Ahalya's destiny changed. And then eventually he entered into Mithila. As soon as he entered into Mithila, Janak Maharaj and Sita's destiny completely changed. And then from Mithila, he came back to Ayodhya. And with Sita now, when he comes back to Ayodhya, the entire mood of Ayodhya changes. And eventually he goes to the forest. And every place where Ram enters into the forest, the destiny of those places completely change. Guha's destiny changes. Bharata Muni's destiny changes. Eventually Chitrakoot, all the sages, their destiny changes. Atri Muni's destiny changes. And when he enters into Dandakaranya, the destiny of all the demons in Dandakaranya changes. And eventually he reaches a place known as Panchavati. And Agastya Muni's destiny changes there. And from Panchavati, he goes to Kishkinda. The destiny of the whole of Vanar Sena changes. The entire Kishkinda, their destiny changes. And eventually from there, when he reaches Lanka, the entire destiny of Vibhishan and Ravan changes. There was one Acharya who was offering a very special prayer. Somebody asked his Acharya, which Ram do you want to pray to? Do you want to pray to Ram who is in Ayodhya? Do you want to pray to Ram who is in Mithila? Do you want to pray to Ram who is in Chitrakoot? Do you want to pray to Ram who is in Panchavati? Do you want to pray to Ram who is in Kishkinda? This Acharya said, I want to pray to Ram who is in Lanka. So this devotee asked, Hare, how come? Why you are praying to Ram who is in Lanka? He said, all other places Ram was invited. Only Lanka he went without being invited. He said, my heart is like Lanka. And I am not inviting Ram. But I have great confidence. Just like he went to Lanka uninvited, he will come to my heart also uninvited. And my heart is filled with demons. Just like he went to Lanka and destroyed all the demons, he'll come to my heart also and destroy all the demons. That's why he said, I like Lanka Vasi Ram. Kalatmaka Parameshwara Ram. So here, the meditation over here is that I meditate on Ram, who is the controller of destiny. And I meditate on Ram, who is a destroyer of the sins of the devotees. So all of us, we're always worried about our future. We are always worried about what is going to happen ahead. But when we take shelter of Lord Ram, he is Kalatmaka. He is a controller of all destiny. So when we know that this person is a controller of all destiny, why should we worry? So that's the meditation in this particular verse. The next verse says, Sheshatal Pashuka Nidritaram. So in this, a very beautiful thought is mentioned. Shesha refers to Adishesh, who is the snake bed of Lord Ram. So this verse says, I take shelter of Sri Ram, who delightfully sleeps on the bed of Shesha, the celestial serpent. The word Shesha means that which is left, that which is remaining, basically. So Anantashesh, Adishesh, is the expansion of the Supreme Lord. And he is manifested from the Lord himself. So he's not different from the Lord in that sense. And the role of Shesha is that he is always meditating on the comfort of Lord Ram. How can I make Ram more comfortable? The same Shesha when he comes to Lakshman, the entire life he's only thinking from that point of view. What can I do to make Ram's life more comfortable? So he does everything possible to make Ram's life more comfortable. Anantashesh has a very special quality of carrying Lord Ram. Ram is sleeping on the snake bed. There are many types of beds in this world. I'm sure all of you all have seen many types of beds, right? There are soft beds, there are hard beds, and then there are really high-end beds. In Germany, there is a bed where you can program the bed to experience sunrise in the afternoon. If you get up in the afternoon, you can actually feel sunrise. The bed can be programmed to emit fragrances of roses and all that. And if you really are having a tough time waking up, The bed can throw a jet spray into your eyes to wake you up also. So like technology has so many ways of creating beds. But Anantashesh is the most comfortable bed in the world. And I'm going to explain to you how. It is explained that when you sleep for a long period of time, however comfortable your bed is, it becomes difficult at some point, right? You start getting bed sores and you start getting backache and so many problems, isn't it? But if you look at Lord Vishnu, he's lying on Anantashesh forever. Do you think he has back issues? Do you think he has bed sores and all that? Why? Have you ever wondered? Because Anantashesh has a very interesting quality. So the snake by itself, it's obviously breathing, right? So when Ram is sleeping, there is expansion, contraction of the bed of the snake below. So it allows air circulation to go below. So when the expansion contraction is happening, it's actually very comfortable for the Lord from below also. It's a kind of very interesting type of bed. And more than that, yes.
That's why they recommend those air beds for the patient to wear.
See? Scientific proof. Yeah. And so these are explanations given by acharyas. That's what I'm saying. Our acharya technology is another level. And more than that, Anantashesh does one more service for Lord Ram to sleep more comfortably. When small children sleep, mothers, they blow air into the eyes of the kids, and the kids, their eyes flutter and they go to sleep faster, basically. Anantashesh with his 1,000 mouths, he's blowing air into the eyes of the Lord and helping him sleep even more peacefully. Imagine what a technology. This is like the best bed you can get, isn't it? Therefore, it's known as Shesha Talpa Sukha Nidritaram. One time, Lord Ram was with Hanumanji and Lakshman. And Lord Ram tells Hanumanji and Lakshman, he tells Hanuman, I love you 2 times more than Lakshman. He tells Hanuman like this. And then he looks at Lakshman and he asks him, did you feel bad? I told Hanuman that I love you twice as much as Lakshman. So Ram looks at Lakshman and asks him, did you feel bad? Lakshman says, no, my dear Lord, what you said is absolutely right. Ram asks, what do you mean? He said, I have been serving you and Sita for so many years. Almost 25 years I've been serving you and Sita. But still Sita doubted me. Still Sita doubted my character. But Hanuman saw Sita for a few minutes and she completely trusted him. So Lakshman said, what I could not do in 25 years, Hanuman did in 25 minutes. Therefore, he's definitely much better than me. And then Lakshman said something more interesting. He said, as Anantashesh, I lift you and I keep you on my lap. That's my service. But Hanuman is so great that he picks you and me both. Therefore, he's twice better than me. So then Ram looks at Hanuman and he says, what did you feel about it? Hanuman tells Ram, my dear Lord, the statement that you said, it only proves that you love Lakshman more than me. Ram says, how? I said I love you twice as much as Lakshman. How you are saying that, this proves that I love Lakshman more? And Hanuman gave a very interesting way of looking at it. Hanuman told Lord Ram, usually when you tell someone, I love you, you say, I love you more than my life. Correct? That means Lakshman is your life. You are saying, I love you twice as much as Lakshman, which means he is not different from you. And I am different from you. Therefore, you have to use him to compare with me. And Lord Ram was amazed. Both these devotees looking at one statement from two different angles. Isn't this how amazing devotees are? They always find ways to glorify other devotees. They always find ways to appreciate others more than themselves, isn't it? The material world is exactly opposite. If somebody in the material world had to make such a statement, Lakshman would have got upset and Hanuman would have got proud. But here in the spiritual world, it works differently. Even when you try to glorify a devotee, the devotee finds reason to glorify the other devotees. This is Shesha Talpa Sukha Nidritaram. So here the mood is I meditate on Ram who has empowered Shesha to hold the earth. And I meditate on Ram, the tranquil in Yoga Nidra. So it is explained that we all know how Sheshanag, he holds the earth on his head, right? And the Shesh holds the earth on his head. But it's explained, Ananta Shesh holds the earth on his head, but Ananta Shesh himself is on Kurma's back. So below who is there? Below Kurma is there. Below the Supreme Lord is there. And on Kurma is Ananta Shesh. And on Ananta Shesh is the whole universe, basically. So which means, apparently it seems that, Ananta Shesh is holding Ram on his body, but actually below Ananta Shesh is Ram only, isn't it? In the form of Kurma, Ram only is holding him and giving him the power to carry the universe on his head. Brahmadyamara Prartitaram. So in this, it means I take shelter of Sri Ram, who was approached by the Devatas, headed by Brahma, and they forgot that they had nectar of immortality and prayed to Lord Ram in great fear. So in this verse, what it means is that when Ravan and his brothers were troubling the Devatas, there was utter chaos in Swarga. Ravan was harassing the Devatas like anything, to the extent that the Devatas were practically become servants of Ravan. Whenever Ravan would, have massive feasts, he would call the demigods to do subjugating. Subjugating seva. All 33 crore demigods cutting sabji, Imagine. And then whenever he found the temperature too hot, you look at Suryadev. Imagine thermostat at that level, Not room temperature, universe temperature he's controlling. And whenever he finds it too hot, he would look at Vayu. And the Vayu had to blow a specific type of wind with fragrance from different flowers. So what kind of control he had? And naturally, the Devatas were very fearful of Ravan. And they all went to Lord Brahma and they told Brahma, what have you done? You have given him unlimited boons. What have you done? And Brahma explained the situation in which he had to give the boons. Brahma explained that these four siblings, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishan, and Shurpanaka, they performed great tapasya. Brahma had to appear in front of them. And first to ask the boons was Ravan. And Ravan, he made a list. Obviously, originally he asked for Amaratva. Brahma said, I myself am not eternal. How can I give you eternity? They asked for anything else. So then Ravan made a list of all these personalities, Devatas, and Gandharvas, and Kinnaras, and all of that big list he made. And he said, I should not be killed by any of these people. And in that list, he forgot or rather, he didn't add human beings and monkeys because he thought it is below his dignity to add, the names of human beings and monkeys. He said, what will Brahma think of me if I add humans and monkeys into that list? Brahma said, Tatastu, gave him that boon. And before Kumbhakarna could start asking for the boon, he sent Saraswati Devi to sit on Kumbhakarna's tongue and twist his tongue when he was asking the boon. So Kumbhakarna began asking. He wanted Indrasan. Indrasan means the throne of Indra. And instead of saying Indrasan, he said, I want Nidrasan. Saraswati Devi twisted his tongue. Amarmaji said immediately, yes, granted Nidrasan. Eternal sleep, And he wanted Indratva. Instead of that, he said Nidratva. So Kumbhakarna said, no, sorry, I asked the wrong thing. Can I please ask again? Brahma said, no, once you asked, that's all. You can't ask again. Kumbhakarna said, come on, what is the point in me sleeping all the time? At least give me some opportunity. He said, fine. 6 months you'll sleep, and one day you'll be awake. And in that one day you can do whatever you want. Some people are best when they sleep. It's good for the universe. Then they should remain asleep. Some people are destructive the moment they wake up, So Kumbhakarna would sleep for 6 months. And then one day that he would get up, he would eat unlimited. And he would enjoy unlimited, basically. And then came the turn of Shurpanaka. So she asked for the ability to change her form at will. So Brahma immediately granted her that desire. The word Shurpanakha means nails. And Shurpanakha means the one who has sharp nails. But it also refers to someone who has a very insensitive nature. Very sharp, spoke whatever she wants. She really hurt people by her words. And then finally, Vibhishan's turn came. And Vibhishan asked Brahma, he said, please give me the boon that I never deviate from the path of Dharma. All the three others said, what nonsense. Is this a boon to ask also? Yeah, ask for something practical. What are you asking? What will you get out of this, They shouted at him like anything. He said, they told him, you're a black spot on our family. Vibhishan said, no, this is what I want. And Brahma felt it was worth coming all the way to give this one person this boon, The word Vibhishan comes from the word Bhishan. Bhishan means the one who is very fearful. But Vibhishan is not a person who is very fearful to look at or anything like that. And Vibhishan means very, very fearful. So the word Vibhishan actually means the one who is fearful of doing anything wrong. So unfortunately, we are not Vibhishan. We are happy to do wrong things, isn't it? Becomes like, it's natural for us to do wrong things. And very unnatural for us to do right things, But Vibhishan is another extreme. Staying with Ravan, Kumbhakarna, and Shurpanaka, but unaffected by them. So here, when the gods, they became so fearful. Why they became so fearful? They became so fearful because they were scared of their own lives. The fact is that all these gods have Amaratva. They have drunk the celestial nectar. So technically they can't die. Technically they can't be killed. But the nature of fear is such that you forget all the technical things. When you're scared, do you remember all shlokas that you have learned? When you're scared, do you remember philosophy that you have heard in classes? When you're very scared, do you remember God naturally? No. When you're scared, you forget all that you're supposed to remember. Here, these devatas, they are Amar. They will not die. But they're still scared. Imagine if you get a boon that you will not die. Will you be scared in life? Nothing to be scared only. You can drive Tesla, go to sleep. Actually go to sleep, you know. Otherwise, most people have Tesla, but they can't go to sleep. Never know, isn't it? That fear is there in us simply because we know that we can die. If that death concept goes away, then fear only goes away. But the nature of illusion is that even if you're Amar, you can get scared. Because eternity is only in the spiritual world. In the material world, it's all relative only. Yeah. Because fear will not go away. Fear is still going to be there in the material world as long as you are in the material world. Only when you transcend the material world, fear goes away. And only when fear goes away, that is a point of time in which you can actually live a life based on faith. So all the devatas here are headed by Brahma. Yes.
You were mentioning that fear is there in the material world. You can only transcend fear in the spiritual world. So, and once you transcend once you transcend the path of, the path of fear, that's when you have faith. So since we are in the material world, we are fearful. How do we get to that faith where we are not fearful?
See, I'll tell you a story from the Ramayana only. I'll explain to you this. So I said Vibhishan means the one who has fear, isn't it? Of doing wrong things. So the interesting thing about Vibhishan's life is that he lived in Lanka and he practiced spiritual life at his own pace. But even though he practiced spiritual life, he was always scared that Ravan may harm me. Ravan may stop me from practicing my spiritual life. Ravan may get angry at me. So Vibhishan was practicing spirituality privately at home. But publicly he was a demon. Privately he was a devotee, publicly he was a demon. Sounds like us, right? But one day, everything changed for Vibhishan. That was the day when Hanumanji entered Lanka. When Hanumanji entered Lanka, and in front of everyone, in the court of Ravan, when Ravan asked him, "Who are you?" He said, "Dasoham Kaushalendrasya." He said, "I am the devotee of Lord Ram. I am a servant of Lord Ram." That day, Vibhishan understood what it means to be a devotee. And after Hanumanji, if you understand the Ramayana, then Vibhishan stood up and he told Ravan, "You're wrong." For the first time in his life, because he understood that being a devotee means conquering fear. And how do you conquer fear? You conquer fear when you see one devotee who is fearless. When you come across one devotee, observe one devotee, experience one devotee who is actually living fearlessly, then you develop a confidence in yourself that yes, I want to be like this. So, what it translates to in us in our lives is very simple. We live on the edge of fear because we have never observed anyone who is fearless. So at least we should have one devotee around us who is actually fearless and boldly going and preaching, boldly going and dealing with the world fearlessly with faith in God, basically. So the solution for all of us is observe devotees who are actually living fearlessly with great faith. And by observing them and being inspired by them, one day we'll become like them. It took Vibhishan time to reach there. So right now we are exactly like Vibhishan. Publicly, we are not exactly devotees, but privately we are devotees. But over time, when we observe Hanuman like devotees, publicly and privately, being aligned, that will inspire us one day to reach there. Make sense? The next verse is Chanda Kirana Kula Mandana Rama. So here, in the Ramayana, Ram is known by different names through the Ramayana. In the starting of the Ramayana, Ram is known as Kula Deepak. The word Kula Deepak means, Kula means dynasty, right? Deepak means lamp. He is the lamp of the dynasty of Ayodhya. What is a lamp? Lamp is something that gives light, isn't it? When it's dark, one lamp, it lights up the entire room. The problem with lamp is that it can emit light, but it depends on oil and wick. If wick and oil is not there, it won't give out light. The second problem with lamp is that wind blows, it can go off, right? So the first level, Ram is compared to Kula Deepak. That means he's come to Ayodhya to light up the whole lamp, or whole dynasty, which is dark, come to give a ray of hope. Now, as Ram goes to the next stage of his life, so in the beginning, he's called as Kula Deepak. He's compared to a lamp. But as Ram grows up and he is the coronation ceremony was supposed to be happening of Lord Ram. And then it was declared that the coronation is not happening. At that point in time, Ram is called by a new name. The name that Ram is called by, when it was declared that the coronation ceremony is not happening, he is known as Mani. Mani means gem or a diamond. Now, what's the difference between a diamond and a lamp? Any idea? What's the difference between a diamond and a lamp? Both emit light. But does diamond need a wick? Does diamond need oil? It gives light like that only, isn't it? So the lamp, it needs external, input. So Kula Deepak Ram is referring to that Ram who needs the power and position to shine. But Mani refers to that Ram that does not need power and position to shine. He can shine like that only. This is a higher level of Ram. And then at a later point, when he is actually kicked out of Ayodhya and he's going into the forest, Ram is compared to Surya, sun. Lamp, it needs wick, it needs oil, and it is disturbed by wind. Mani is not disturbed by wind, it does not need wick and it does not need oil, it will still give light. Sun, does it, you think wind can blow off the sun? Sun, does it need a wick? Sun, does it need oil? And the shine of the Mani is so small. If you put a money on the table, just little bit area can get covered. But sun can cover the entire universe, isn't it? So much light. So Ram, the same Ram, but he's called at different stages by different names. So here, Chanda Kirana Kula Mandana Ram. Here, the translation of this verse, it means, I take shelter of Sri Ram, who adorns the solar dynasty. It refers to that Ram who is giving the highest level of light. So all of us, we can compare our own lives to Lord Ram. Many of us, we feel without power and position, we can't do anything in life. So first they want power and position and then they will show that I'll do something in life. Many people think that unless I have power and position, what can I do? That time, remember Ram, who is called Mani. money does not depend on power and position. It depends on its own qualities. So all of us, we have some qualities within us. And if we want to actually shine in front of the world, we don't have to depend on some external factors. We can simply work on those qualities and exhibit those qualities, and still we will shine. And still we will influence the world to a considerable extent. And as you get empowered by God over a period of time, as you get empowered by God, you'll become like Surya. And especially through difficulties, Ram is called Surya Putra. Through difficulties. That means what? The best of you comes out when you're in trouble. When everything is perfect and fine, the best of you doesn't come out. In small children, the best ability comes out when exam comes. Isn't it? For those who are software engineers, their best ability comes out when project submission comes. Otherwise, you're a normal human being. But deadline comes, suddenly superpowers come. You suddenly start behaving like as if you have such superpowers. Where does the superpower come from? It is always there inside you. But you just don't want to exhibit it. And some external pressure has to be put, then you start exhibiting the superpowers, isn't it? So that's the meditation here. And the mood over here is that I meditate on Ram who dispels darkness like the sun. I meditate on Ram who shines and outshines everything. Yes. Okay. So a practical example of what I mean by this is, like say for example, you have some ability inside you, whatever the ability is. It could be to sing, it could be to dance, it could be to write, it could be to maybe lead a team, it could be anything, any ability that God has given you. Now that ability is there inside you, right? Whether you have a position or power or money, that ability is there inside you. Using that ability over a period of time, you can acquire all the three: power, position, and money. Simply because that ability is there inside you. So if that ability was not there only, if you have power, position, and money, will that last? It won't last. So focus on the ability that is inside you, which will help you shine. And with that, other things will come. That's what it means. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go to a very special one. Kaushalya Sukhavardhana Ram. So this verse is a very special verse for many reasons. And to help us understand this verse, let me tell you a small story. When Vishwamitra Muni took Ram and Lakshman to the forest with him, Vishwamitra Muni obviously was for the first time taking young children into the forest. So Vishwamitra Muni is a very ardent sage, and he is really been intensely performing tapasya, and he's done a lot in his personal journey. But he's never taken care of anybody. There are two types of devotees. The first type of devotee who's a Bhajananandi. Bhajananandis are those who are perfect in their own bhajan. And the second type of devotees are known as Goshyanandis. Goshyanandis are those who are very good in taking care of others. Preaching, serving, and like that way. So who is better? Bhajananandi is better or Goshyanandi is better? Actually, you need to be a combination of both. The best Bhajananandi is a Goshyanandi who does bhajan. And the best Goshyanandi is a Bhajananandi who preaches. Both are important. So Vishwamitra Muni has been doing private bhajan all his life. So he himself is a great sage, but he doesn't know how to take care of people. He shoos away people, basically. He likes to go to Radha Kund and do the pasya on his own. You tell him to preach, he said, no, I don't want to talk to anybody. Waste of time. But For the first time in his life, he took care of Ram and Lakshman. Ram and Lakshman at that point of time, they were 12 years old. Not even teenagers, literally. So obviously when Dasharath Maharaj sent Ram and Lakshman with Vishwamitra Muni, Dasharath Maharaj gave Vishwamitra Muni a warning. Rather, he made a request. He told Vishwamitra Muni, the life of a sage is result oriented, but life of a father and mother is love oriented. When you're result oriented, if the person who is working with you makes a mistake, you get very angry. But when you're love oriented, if the person you're taking care of makes mistake, you forgive. So Dasharath Maharaj tells Vishwamitra Muni, please, for the next whatever amount of time Ram Lakshmana are with you, you're not only their teacher, you're also their father and mother. So if they make mistakes, forgive them, forgive their lapses. So the Vishwamitra Muni, he said okay, and he took Ram Lakshmana with him. And when they were in the forest with Vishwamitra Muni, Vishwamitra Muni was observing Ram and Lakshman for the first time so closely. In the night, it was time to sleep. Ram Lakshman was sleeping on the floor along with Vishwamitra Muni. This is the first time in life of Vishwamitra Muni that somebody is sleeping next to him. So for those who are parents who have experienced children sleeping next to them, it's not easy, isn't it? Yeah, you can't really focus on your sleep because there's somebody else who needs attention, isn't it? For the first time in Vishwamitra Muni's life, he realized there is somebody that I need to really focus on. Obviously, from Ram Lakshman's point of view, they're so flexible. They lived all their lives in Ayodhya, palaces of Ayodhya, having such soft beds. Today, for the first time, they're sleeping on a hard floor. I don't know how many of you have slept on hard floors, in your lives. It's not easy, especially beyond a certain age. It's definitely not easy, And Ram Lakshman, they are so flexible. They didn't ask Vishwamitra Muni which hotel you booked, which star, 5-star, 3-star, 4-star, Nothing they asked him. They just went with him. They didn't ask him, you're going to arrange pizzas for us or pastas for us. Nothing, no demands at all. Whatever Vishwamitra Muni managed, they were satisfied with it. They didn't even ask him for anything. So when Ram and Lakshman was sleeping next to Vishwamitra Muni started telling them stories. And over many stories, they went to sleep. The next day morning, when Vishwamitra Muni got up, he got up on time before Brahma Muhurta. To have a bath and start his tapasya in Brahma Muhurta time. Ram and Lakshman are still sleeping. So Vishwamitra Muni went, did all his sadhana and came back. And the two of them are still sleeping. And then he goes to Ram Lakshman to wake them up. And when he goes to wake up Ram and Lakshman, he sees the face of the sleeping Ram. And suddenly he gets a realization. He is so mesmerized by the beauty of the sleeping Ram, so mesmerized that his heart literally melts. And in that, affection and love that comes out from his heart, he starts thinking about how fortunate Kaushalya is that every day she gets to see this beauty of Ram, sleeping Ram. See, when we go to sleep and get up in the morning, we are not exactly beautiful. Isn't it? First thing in the morning, you look like ghost, basically. So you immediately go and wash our face and become presentable. But Lord Ram, sleeping beauty of Lord Ram is so amazing. Vishwamitra Muni starts remembering Mother Kaushalya. How fortunate she is. First time I'm getting to see this. But how fortunate she is, from the time Ram is born, she's able to see this darshan of Ram. And in that meditation, he composes a very famous sloka, Kaushalya Supraja Rama, Purva Sandhya Pravartate, Uttishta Narsha Ardula, Kartavyam Devamanika. This is Vishwamitra Muni's verse composition. And Vishwamitra Muni, when he chants this, he's meditating on the greatness of Kaushalya. And he chants the name Kaushalya for 1 hour. He doesn't chant the full verse. He's in Kaushalya, Kaushalya only repeats for 1 hour. Just thinking how great Kaushalya is, he just goes into a trance. For a great sage like Vishwamitra Muni, who's so powerful and such a great achiever, meditating on the greatness of somebody else is a big thing. For the first time, he realized that in the path of austerity, your own ability is important. But in the path of devotion, depending on other people and their grace and their mercy and their blessings is more important. So the first time, Vishwamitra Muni forgot his greatness and he's focusing on the greatness of Kaushalya, and he's meditating on this beautiful form of Lord Ram when he was waking up. I'm going to tell you all a very secret story, very important story, and a very beautiful story. Once, one devotee went to Vedanta Desikar. Vedanta Desikar is a very great sage from South India, from Shiva Vaishnava Sampradaya. So this devotee went to Vedanta Desikar and he asked him, what is the best time to have darshan of the Lord? All the day long, what is the best time to have darshan? And Vedanta Desikar gave a very amazing answer. He said, the best time to go to have darshan is Mangalarti time. Early morning when the Lord just wakes up from sleep. So this devotee asked Vedanta Desikar, why do you say this? Vedanta Desikar said, I will tell you a story. And he explained why he says this. He said, Varadaraj, one of the forms of Lord Vishnu in Kanchipuram, who's like the main deity there. If you, I don't know if any of you have gone to Kanchipuram. You've gone? Some of you all? So in Kanchipuram, Varadaraj's deity is standing in one altar. And Perindevi Tayar, his wife, she has another altar. He's standing in another altar, little away. So when the temple closes down in the night, Varadaraj leaves his altar, goes to Perindevi Tayar's altar to sleep. And in the night, he sleeps resting on her hand. She puts her hand like this, and he rests. He puts his head, neck on the hand of Perindevi and goes to sleep. Next day, Mangalarti, he suddenly gets up running and comes to stand in the altar before the devotees come. But what has happened is because he is resting his hand on his head on in the neck. The goddess is wearing bangles, right? So the marks of the bangle come on the neck of the Lord. All night if you're lying on a pillow or on a particular straw mat or something, the marks come, right? So Vedanta Desikar says the Lord is always very embarrassed that nobody should see this. And all those who go for Mangalarti, they can see it. And at that time, if you ask him for anything, he'll give you. He'll say, I'll give you, but on the condition that whatever you saw, don't go and tell anybody else. So the point is that Mangalarti darshan of the Lord is a very special darshan. It's actually a very intimate, connection. Normal times, when we have darshan of the Lord, he's like a king giving audience to the world, right? So the king's audience, everybody can have. But how many people can go to the king's bedroom? Unless you're really, really close, you can't. If you come from Mangalarti, you're actually literally in the bedroom of the Lord. The Lord is wearing night dress. He's just woken up from bed, So it's a very, very special and intimate experience, basically. And that's the experience that here Vishwamitra Muni is having when he's seeing Lord Ram and when he is meditating on Kaushalya's greatness, basically. So this verse here, Kaushalya Sukha Vardhana Ram, it refers to This refers to Ram's beauty in the morning time. The Kaushalya gets darshan of, and how just by meditating on that form of the Lord, beautiful form of Lord Ram, just waking up, it gives her so much joy and so much happiness. So this is the meditation that we can have over here. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Any questions, comments, discussions? How are you all liking this? Very interesting way of Ramayana, right?
To this day, Tirupati Srinivasa Perumal is woken up to
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. In many Shiva Vaishnava temples, they do this. Yeah.
Prabhu, all the stories that you were mentioning, is it there in the book?
As it is.
Oh,
I'm speaking as it is from the book. See, this whole book is like this only. Every verse there is a story, there's a meditation. There's a story meditation, story meditation. That's how the whole book is basically. So like this, you get to, so it's 108 verses basically. So every day you read one verse, meditate on one verse, meditate on one quality of the Lord, meditate on one lila of the Lord, meditate on one quality that we can absorb it in our lives. That's what this book is. So it's here. I think there are a few more copies of there are 5 copies here, but there are some more copies coming of the book. So what I'm trying to do in in my writing basically is that I'm trying to make the scriptures very accessible to people. What I have found is when you make the scriptures philosophical, half the people don't read only. It doesn't connect with people basically. But when you make it very simple, very digestible basically, in a language that really is very very basic, not high philosophy, becomes easy for people to understand and relate to. So what I'm doing with all my books is I'm simply doing this. I'm trying to make all our scriptures very simple, accessible, and very easy to apply in our lives. So every single book that I've written, the entire Ramayana, the Game of Life series, I don't know what books are here. All of these books that you see over here are written in that mode only. So each of these books are written in that format. It's exactly the same style. So today I spoke about Nam Ramayana, but you pick up any other book of mine, it's in the same style. So I'm trying to write not just the entire Ramayana, but also the other scriptures. Like I wrote a book on Bhagavad Gita for kids. So trying to make the Bhagavad Gita relevant to even a small child. I wrote this book called Plug into Happiness. So that book is 28 chapters, how to be a happy person in life. And it talks about, that's it. That's what the book is about. And it talks about 28 things that you can do in your life to be happy. And through stories. So I have a story from the Mahabharata or Ramayana or one of the scriptures. I have a story from modern life. And I have a thought that you can do to implement in your own life. Like one of the things in that book I speak about is gratitude. How gratitude is so important for experiencing joy. And I tell stories. So that's the way I've written all the books that you can see here. And it works for all age groups, kids, young adults, adults, for elderly people, for every age bracket. We have books now. So we can take some questions and we can have some discussions before we end. We can have 5 minutes of kirtan also. Yes.
The Devatas, so in Sarvaloka, when they perform activities, do they include karma?
Yes.
They do.
They are the heavenly planets is part of the material world. So as long as
the material world.
As long as you have a material body, karma is there.
And when their spiritual balance, that karmic that balance is like exhausted. they come down to the food.
Yeah.
Food. Okay. And so they stay bird like just like other.
Correct. Just like you go to a 5-star hotel, 7 days you can stay. Once your money gets over, you got to come back. Regular home. You can't stay in 5-star hotel forever, right? When you are there in 5-star hotel, you feel that I'm the boss here. 5 days they allow you to be a boss. To think like that also. After that, you have to come back.
Would you plan on writing anything on Mahabharata? Like,
Yes.
real language?
Absolutely. I've started a series. There's going to be a 6-volume Mahabharata series coming from next year, from 2025, it should come. I'm writing 6 books on 6 characters of Mahabharata. The first book is going to be called as Undefeatable Krishna. It's so the whole series is exploring the characters of Mahabharata from a very interesting perspective. Half the book will be stories of these personalities, each of these personalities. Like say first book on Krishna. So half the book is stories of Krishna with practical life lessons. That's what the first half of the book is. Second half of the book is his teachings. Bhagavad Gita answering 10, oh sorry, I think nine questions that all of you have in your life. What is Krishna's answer to it through Gita? So that's what the second half of the book is. The first half is story, second half is teachings. So next character is Arjun. So first half will be stories of Arjun. Second half will be a concept known as Anugita. So after the Mahabharata war got over, Krishna and Arjun had a conversation. And Arjun told Krishna that, when you told me Gita during the war, I was too stressed out. I didn't focus properly. Can you tell me Gita now? Now I'm free. You know? Krishna told Arjun, come on, I didn't by heart and give you a lecture that time, you know. Said I spoke just whatever came in my heart. Now also, if you want me to speak, I'll speak. The second conversation between Krishna and Arjun is known as Anugita. So that's going to be in the second Arjun's book, basically. Then third character I'm writing on Yudhishthir Maharaj. The first half will be stories of Yudhishthir. Second half will be Yaksha Prashna. It's a rapid fire, you know, question answer between Yudhishthir and Yaksha. Solid philosophy. How to live life in those rapid fire questions, basically. That will be there. The fourth book is on Bhishma. So first half will be stories of Bhishma. The second half will be Bhishma Parva. Bhishma's instructions to Yudhishthir. Amazing stuff. Mind-blowing stories he tells. You know? So all that will be in the second half. Then the next character will be Vidur. Vidur. So first half will be Vidur stories. Second half will be Vidur Niti. Vidur's instructions. Amazing stuff again. And the last book is on Kunti. So the first half will be stories of Kunti and second half will be teachings. Yeah. So first book I've already written. It's almost last stage of editing now. Should come next year. That's already out. It should be there with it should be here. It should be. Yeah, I think 100% should be there. So whatever books are here. You know, somebody can just help me sort this out. Huh? You can just go through the books. Let us just pick it up. But whatever book is not available here, it will be there in the temple. Tomorrow we are doing a class in the temple. So if you are coming there, you can look at all the books. So tomorrow I'm doing a program. I'm doing a session in the temple on Bhagavatam. So I wanted to share with all of you also. Just 3 months back, 3-4 months back, I've begun a series known as Applied Bhagavatam, where I'm teaching the entire Bhagavatam in an application way. And this is available online. So it's offline, online, both simultaneously. I'm teaching it in Chopati, in ISKCON Chopati in Bombay. But simultaneously, you can attend live online, basically. The class is available on YouTube. I'm going to share with you all a link. So here, yeah. So if you go through, if you scan this link, so this is a QR code. you can join a Telegram group. And in this Telegram group, you'll get the links for joining the Applied Bhagavatam classes and all my online classes. So you're most welcome to be a part of this group. And through this group, so what I do is, the way I'm teaching Applied Bhagavatam is I'm teaching the entire Bhagavatam in a way that you can apply it in your life directly. And short and sweet. So I'm not going through technical details of the Bhagavatam and all. You know, most people will never read Bhagavatam in their entire life, literally. But I want to make everyone understand the Bhagavatam. That's my goal of teaching Applied Bhagavatam, basically. And the idea is that if you just hear these classes, at the end of it, so like I have finished first canto of Bhagavatam. The link, the classes of the first canto of Bhagavatam already there. In 11 classes, I've done the full first canto. When you hear it, you will feel, wow, I understand the Bhagavatam now. And I can apply the Bhagavatam in my life. That's what. And I make notes for every session. And the notes are dropped in the Telegram group only. So proper colored handouts, very good quality handouts, basically. So if you have all the handouts, you're literally having the essence of Bhagavatam in front of you, like that it is. So my idea is I'll finish all 12 cantos Bhagavatam in the next 2-3 years. And then I'll make a book of all the handouts, which will be like the essence of the whole Bhagavatam in a nutshell, basically.
Do you have the access to, like, we hear that like there are so many versions of Mahabharata, so many versions of Ramayana.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the manuscripts? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like where, I'm just curious. Like,
Yeah, there are so many. So basically, Ramayana itself, there is Kamba Ramayana, there's Adbhuta Ramayana, there's Ananda Ramayana, there's Tulsidasa's Ramcharitamanas, Valmiki Ramayana. So many versions, and they are all available. You can easily get them. Not a big deal. Of course, they are available in different languages. That's the only thing. Some are available in Tamil, some are in Telugu, some are in Kannada, some Hindi, like that. If you have ability to read multiple languages, then you have all of it. Anything else? Hare Krishna.
So we are very, very grateful for His Grace Shuba Vilas Prabhu. I mean, actually, I didn't know that he's traveling from India today. I mean, I thought he's just traveling locally, and I had arranged this program. So, and he's also a little bit sick. I just he finished the yatra in Radhanath Maharaj's Mayapur yatra, then he went to Bombay and flew immediately here, and he's conducting a program. So we're very thankful and grateful, and we can see his enthusiasm to share this pastimes of Rama with us. So please take the opportunity. Tomorrow morning we'll have a class in the temple, and then on Monday we have a program. I think that so since San Jose at no, not program. No, Monday. No, not his. Manjuri cousin. I forgot parents. Rohini Dulal Prabhu's house. So on Monday. Sham Bhakta Prabhu's house is, I think, Sham Jagannath Prabhu, I think, is a local program. They are not. But did they advertise it outside? Okay. Okay, then it's there tomorrow also at 11 o'clock at Fremont. So please attend the program. Let's 11 o'clock tomorrow. Acha, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll send the schedule. So let's show our gratitude by loudly chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! We'll have Damodar Ashtakam now, and if by the time anybody wants to have the books, you can take the books from here, and Prabhuji can tell how to make the payments, and then okay, if you want to talk to him for some time, he's available here for a few more minutes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Who wants to sing Damodar Ashtakam? Yeah.
No, you have.
What do you want?
Yeah, I'm going to pull the ball.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you.